What's going on, people? What's happening? I can't even say happy Thursday because there's not really much to be happy about. I can't lie. Not really much to be happy about. Be sure to hit the like button, guys. Be sure to subscribe as well if you're new here. I'm not gonna lie. I thought this kit was kind of cool, yeah. So I've been wearing it today, but I just realized I look like the boy in striped pajamas or something like that, or Where's Waldo or that kind of stuff. I don't know what possessed me to wear a red shirt when half of my setup is red. I feel like I'm just blending in with everything else. Atletico, yes, this is an Atletico kit. I don't know if you guys can see. Let me see if I can move my mic. It's an Atletico kit sponsored by Spider-Man. I think it's from like 06, 05. I might be wrong. 07 maybe. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's from around the 2000s. As you lot know, my kit collection is growing pretty much every single day. My kit collection is growing, and I'm trying to add more shirts outside of Manchester United to it. It does look like pajamas. I know it does look like pajamas. Listen, guys, listen. Let's not get sidetracked because there's a problem. Houston, we have a problem. There's a big problem at hand right now with Manchester United. I mean, I think it actually just summarizes the issue that United have had for the last decade or so. And I'm not gonna lie, we're gonna get into it because we're gonna talk about yesterday's game. I don't know if anybody anticipated it, but when United went a goal down, I just said to myself, this is giving me MK Don memories. And even then, MK Dons, I don't even feel like we set up against MK Dons nearly 11 years ago with as stacked of a starting 11 as we did yesterday against Grimsby. Fun fact, guys, yesterday, on the day before actually, 26th of August is when we lost to MK Dons, 27th of August is when we lost to Grimsby. But I actually think, guys, a lot of people, firstly, congratulations to Grimsby Town, because for a team in League Two, and when we say League Two, it sounds like they are 2 leagues below us. They're in the 4th division of English football, as in I'm pretty sure they play in the same division of football as Salford. I'm pretty sure Bolton is in that League Two. I need to see who's actually in League Two. Yeah, there's teams like Barrow, Gillingham, Crewe, Notts County. That's the kind of teams, and I'm not disrespecting them, but I'm saying that that's the kind of teams. Crawley Town, I've been to Crawley Town. Crawley Town, Shrewsbury, Barnet are in League Two. Fleetwood, Tranmere Rovers, Salford City, Bromley, etc. These are the kind of teams that are in League Two, and people want me to believe that Man United are not good enough to go and beat this team. Like that's probably what I'm struggling to comprehend, because you guys know the day after a Man United loss or a bad Man United result, the internet is in a meltdown. But the day after losing to Grimsby Town, I actually woke up this morning and I thought, oh, maybe, like, in my head I was like, oh, last night didn't happen. It did happen. That's how difficult it is for me to actually deep what has happened against Grimsby Town. But I think, listen, I get some people can't congratulate. I think people are emphasizing how bad United are, but people are not actually respecting how good Grimsby were. But in my opinion, a good Grimsby should not beat what would be a good Premier League team if we were a good Premier League team. But clearly, evidently, we're not. And that's the conversation that we need to have. I've seen people talking about Ruben Amorim, and listen, I watched 3 different interviews that Ruben Amorim did yesterday. I watched the Sky one as it was happening, and then I watched the ITV one, and then I watched the MUTV one. And every single, I think the ITV interview that he gave was the worst out of all of them, because it was not just defeatist mentality, but I think he looked like, to me, a man who has given up. A man who something happened between him and the players that he kept emphasizing. He kept emphasizing about how the players spoke for me, and the journalist, Sky ITV, kept saying, what do you mean by that? And he's like, I don't need to explain. If you know, you know. The players spoke for me today. And for me, it's very cryptic. It's for a person who we praised when he first came in less than a year ago, by the way, for a manager that we praised less than a year ago for being, very good at communication and, the way he communicates and his communication style. This is what we praised. And now you're given a very cryptic post-match interview where some people are saying he shouldn't have to explain himself and he doesn't owe it to he owes it to fans to give an explanation for that result. I actually don't think we need an explanation. I think we need it won't happen again conversation, but he can't give that. He can't give that because there's no guarantee that it won't happen again. We got Burnley, and this is what kind of intrigued me about what he said, is that he said we have a game on the weekend and then we will talk. To me, that sounds like a man who's gonna walk. Maybe it sounds like a man that knows that he's maybe bit off too much than he can chew. And if you actually look at the timeline of Amorim and his coaching career, some people might argue that he took this job prematurely. And I remember saying this at the time. I remember saying this might be a premature appointment for him. But the fact that Ineos had given him reportedly that ultimatum, it's now or never, he felt that he had to take the United job. And sometimes I think managers, similar to players who turn down a big move, I think sometimes managers should do that thing, because going from Sporting to Manchester United is probably the biggest jump he'll ever make. And unfortunately for him, I think a lot of people are going to, if he leaves, by the way, a lot of people are going to remember him for this less than 1 year stint that he's had at Manchester United. And there's no harm with saying, you know, it's not the right time for me to take that job. I would have, if he did not take the United job when Omar Barada and then went to Lisbon and courted him and tried to, you know, seduce him into joining Manchester United. If he had turned around and said, listen, guys, I'm not ready yet for a big job at Manchester, I would respect that. I would respect that, because now I think the worst thing is that he's dying on this hill of this back five. We lined up against Grimsby with 5 of our outfield, 6 out of our outfield players, defensive players. You might say Ahmad's not a defensive player. Let's get into it. Let's actually bring up the formation on screen right now. This was at halftime. This was halftime, how everybody was looking, yeah? By the end of the game, their ratings went up a little bit, but this is how it was looking at halftime, yeah? Dallo, defensive. Fredrickson, Maguire, Heaven, Dorgu, Ugarte. That, for me, is the 6 players, in my eyes, who are defensive players. So now you have Ahmad, who probably, I think I saw the worst performance of Ahmad that I've probably seen in my lifetime of watching him at Manchester United. I genuinely don't know if that was the worst Ahmad performance that I saw in the 10 and at right wing back. But to line up against Grimsby Town with 6 defensive players in your outfield options just shows me how I've been saying this for so long. A system that relies on wing-backs to be the difference makers in attack is, and especially when you don't have those profiles. I think, for example, people always like to talk about Crystal Palace and Glasner. They like to, before, speak about Inter and Simeone. Inter Milan worked under Simeone, not just because of the manager, but the type of players that they had. Yes, on paper, they had a back 5, but they were most of the time playing with a back 4, and they had a congested midfield, a 2-man front line, and they had a congested midfield. They had Denzel Dumfries, who is a right wing back on paper, but in game is playing as a right winger essentially, or right mid. And then they have multiple players in the midfield. They got 3 options, which means you are never losing a midfield battle, ever. Manchester United do the complete opposite. They do the complete opposite. But let's actually talk about, I think, this for me is the biggest, one of the bigger problems. One of the bigger problems. Firstly, can I just say, guys, for me, I just have to say one thing quickly. You can have your comments on the manager and the player, but please don't abuse them. Please don't make mean comments or use mean words to insult players, etc. Same with the manager. There's no need for that. Yeah, you can have your opinions on that. Like, I think Onana should leave, but I've seen people saying, "Oh, you can be racist to Onana. I'll let it slide." You can't. But I don't. You can say that Onana needs to leave, and that's exactly what I'm about to say. He needs to leave Manchester United. And I know a lot of people are also going to use this to be like, oh, I told you so. He was never going to work. Why did we sign him? But I'm going to do that too. I want a Diogo Costa, but I'm not going to lie.
and say that I wasn't optimistic when Onana came in. But you know, when I knew that we were pissed, forget even his preseason. Forget his preseason when he got lobbed. Yeah? Do you guys remember his Premier League debut? Against Wolves. Do you guys remember? We just about won that game. Just about won that game. And if you remember, he came out in the 90th minute for a set piece. I hope you guys remember what I'm about to describe, but he came out for a corner or a free kick. I can't remember exactly what it was. Set piece. He punched the man in the head. He punched the man in the head. I don't know how that day VAR didn't look at it. Dead ass, guys. I'm not joking. He punched a man in his head. That's the day that I realized, oh my God, we actually are pissed. Because you're doing that on your debut. Superman punch. Yo, the way I remember watching that game thinking, and I screamed when I was watching the game because I thought the ref's going to call it. He's going to call it. But he didn't. Alhamdulillah. Or maybe not. I shouldn't be happy about that, because had the ref called it, it might have changed United's stance on him. I mean, what happened in that season is 10 times worse. What we saw in the Champions League was 10 times worse. And you know what the worst thing is that we still see things worse than the things before. If it wasn't for the Wolves punch, it's the Champions League. If it wasn't for the Champions League, it's all the other games that we watched last season of him throwing the ball into the net or him punching a man in the head. And one thing I don't get, is I read a scout report. Shout out to Pythagoras in Boots, one of my favorite content creators, Did every time like a player's moving, they do like a little scout report. And I remember reading a scout report about Onana then, and the scout report was talking about his fragile wrists. He was talking about how like unconvincingly he is from set pieces, but also it spoke about this. And I noticed it many times, but I've noticed it particularly yesterday. Guys, why does Onana dive the way that he does? And when I say why does he dive the way that he does, it's like he's diving into the ground. So look at this penalty, for example. I had to get this screenshot. Look at this penalty, for example. Look at that gap. Wallahi, how a car could fit in the gap between him and the ground. This gap here on the floor, between him and the ground, you're going for a low save, You've made your mind up. You're going for a low save. Why are you halfway in the air? Look at that space here. And most of the time, by the way, guys, I've seen when this happens, it's not just penalties, but even in game goals that United have conceded. We concede a lot of goals that are low driven shots because the guy can't get low. That sounds weird, but he can't do that. How does he touch the ball when diving but somehow doesn't get proper contact? It's this, his wrists are made of spaghetti. His wrists, I think, are made of spaghetti, because even that one save that he made, for me, it was still a little bit unconvincing. But then there was another time he got his hand to it, again, unconvincingly. And and there was a time, one of the penalty shootouts, guys, he got 2 hands to it. 2 hands to it. And I actually have to talk, when it comes to Onana, we got issues, Well, we got problems with Onana. But I'm being so honest, I don't know how he made it out onto the pitch at second half. Ugarte got hooked. Who got hooked at halftime? Ugarte got hooked. Patrick Dorgu got hooked, and Frederiksen got hooked. All 3 of them were bang average, But I don't know how Ruben Amorim did not hook Onana at halftime. Because it's not, for me, a statement is not you dropping him for Burnley, because I've been knowing you're going to drop him. We know you're not going to play him against Burnley. We know you're not going to play him in the Premier League, right? But for me, it's a statement that this level of goalkeeping is unacceptable at Manchester United. Because today, if Sesko missed 2 free open goals in the first half, I'm talking wide open goals, and he just skies it, he would get hooked. So for me, why is the same thing not applicable to a goalkeeper? Why is it not applicable to a goalkeeper? I think one of the many mistakes Amorim made last night, and I said it in my video after the game. I had 5 minutes left to talk yesterday after the game, because for the rest of the night I was on mute. I had nothing else to say, but I said it in the video after the game. I said, why did Amorim not take him off? Because I'm tired of goalkeepers, and specifically it's Onana in this case, making shambolic decisions in game that cost United time and time again, and he gets to see the game out. And then maybe you make an example of him in the next game. For example, that Lyon game, it was too late in the game for you to make an example of him, right? Man United conceded against Lyon in the first leg, in the last minute or two. So you can't hook him at that point. But what I would have done is not drop him for the Premier League game. I would have dropped him for the second leg. This idea that, I don't think you're kicking a man down in terms of confidence, because Onana is still a confident guy. He's still a confident guy. So I'm just shocked the errors that we watched in that first half yesterday, that Onana made it out of the tunnel in the second half. He should have been sat on the bench. Big up to OJ, says Lamens should be announced by now. Why are we dragging our heels on this deal? Our goalkeepers are not it. Big up to Ridwan, says Ugarte is such a shambles. Ahmad was so poor. Amorim took way too long to take them two off. I mean, Ugarte came off at half time. Big up to Amran, says I'm in a state of utter shock after last night's game. What's next for Man United? I'm in a state of shock as well, because I remember yesterday I was just like, is this real? Like, you know, when you think United hit rock bottom, like, I don't know when in the last decade, I'm trying to equate yesterday's feeling to something that I've experienced in the last decade as a United fan. But I don't think the way United got knocked out of the Champions League was this bad. It was humiliating, but I don't think it was this bad. Even, guys, I actually think that I'm trying to think if the Spurs loss was as demoralizing as this. Big up to Gary, says I was in the away end last night and it was the first time that we didn't sing the Amorim song. Interesting. Yeah, I know. I was at the Fulham game and it was being sung. So it's interesting. Maybe people are losing the faith. I mean, I think it's kind of tough to be singing the Amorim song. By the way, it's sung all the time, but it's kind of tough to sing it when your manager don't even want to watch the penalty shootout. Like, we have to watch the penalty shootout, but the manager doesn't. Someone said to me, by the way, can I say, someone said to me he doesn't watch penalty shootouts or penalties in general, and apparently this has been his thing. I don't know if you lot can confirm. When he was at Sporting and they beat City and Gyökeres stepped up to take penalties, did he watch that? I can't remember that far back. Did he watch it, or was he that humiliated yesterday that he didn't even want to watch it? Yeah, so it is something that he does. Interesting. The thing is that impacts the rest of their confidence. No doubt they're like, for F's sake, what's he going to do next? I need to watch out and avoid him, etc. Well, let's actually talk about Amorim and the players. Be sure to hit the like button if you've just come through. We're on the road to 17k, by the way, guys. This tactic board, when I saw this, I just thought to myself, oh my god, Amorim has just gave the world a new meme. That was my first thought. But also, I was trying to look to see what he was doing, because he was moving stuff around on the tactical board so quickly. Yeah, he was moving it around. I'm thinking, there is no way you need to back out the tactical board against Grimsby. If he had made changes and United shifted into a back four, I would have been like, okay, cool. He's trying to visualize how he's going to change the game tactically. That's the whole point of a tactic board, right? And then I saw Mason Mount, who did pretty well. No, but I can't say anyone did well because United lost. But I saw Mason Mount come on, and I'm thinking the whole time, guys, I'm watching the game thinking, where's Mason Mount? I can't see him on the pitch. I can't see him in the pitch. I can't see him on the pitch. And then I saw him, and he was at left wing back. I said, oh my God, this is an illness. This is when you persist to this extent of putting Mason Mount at left wing back. I'm not criticizing Mason Mount, and I'm not criticizing, for example, De Ligt, who was making overlapping runs. I'm criticizing the system, that you are that rigid that you will shoehorn whoever you can. The more attackers you have on the field, obviously, that's the way that I'm trying to make sense of it, is that he wanted as many attackers as possible on the field. So it makes sense why Mason Mount was on. But I left wing back. Brother, just go to a back three and just put bare attackers on. Get rid of all your midfielders. Just slap every attacker that you got on the field and just put them on. And tell Harry Maguire go up and tell Bruno Fernandes get into that quarterback role. There you go, man. That's it. That's it. Not sure if you saw it, Mina, but it was the way he was rocking back and forth during the penalties that made me worried. Dude looked shook. At one point, I don't know if you lot realized, one point he was with the coaching staff and he was squatting. And then by the time it got to like the 10th penalty or 9th penalty, he was sat in the dugout. So he opened his eyes and then walked backwards and sat in the dugout. For me, he just looked like, even after the interview, for the interviews, the 3 interviews that I watched, I think we've broken him. I think he's broken, guys. Because the Amorim that I saw 6 months ago doing media stuff and the Amorim that I saw yesterday, completely different, two different Ruben Amorims talking. And what shocked me a little bit is how much he was persistent about the fact that the players have spoken for me. And the journalist was saying, what do you mean by that? If you know, you know. He's saying, if you know, you know. The players have spoken for me. Now we look ahead. We've got a game on Saturday and then we've got international break and we talk. But he kept saying the players have spoken for me. So I don't want to be like, I hate the fact that we're trying to dissect what feels like a cryptic message. What do you mean by the players have spoken for you? So I saw a report, I think it was Samuel Luckhurst or somebody was saying that he didn't speak in the dressing room at halftime and the players spoke. That's what some people are saying. But I think there's more to him saying that. When he's saying the players have spoken for me, I think he's trying to say the performance has spoken enough. I don't know if he's referencing the style of play, because I'm not gonna lie, guys, yeah, and this is why I refuse to be gaslit. If I hear one more time someone talking about open heart surgery, yeah, if I hear one more discussion about open heart surgery, wallah, I'm gonna lose it. I am going to lose it, yeah. But just quickly on the starting 11, or not just the starting 11, the entire squad, yeah, the entire squad. You can't tell me that this team with these players on the bench are not good enough to beat Grimsby Town. I'm not going to be gaslit into believing that these players are that bad. I'm also not going to be gaslit into believing that United still need to undergo open heart surgery. Yeah, some players still need to go. United just spent 200 million on a new front line, and you're telling me we can just about score past Grimsby Town. He meant the players spoke regarding their play. He's a football romantic. I don't think he's a football romantic. I don't think he's I think Ruben Amorim's one of them people and one of them managers who will die on their sword. They will die on their sword because they're pretty firm with their style of football and they want it to succeed, etc., etc. Mina, Uncle Rangnick told you. What did he tell us? That United need open heart surgery, and we had open heart. I reference this all the time, guys. We had open heart surgery. They opened up our heart. They took our heart out and they put a kidney in there. Under Erik ten Hag, we got rid of a bunch of players, brought in a bunch of players. Now we're undoing all of that. So now we're having double heart surgery. They were actually trying really hard second half, so players were trying. I don't believe that the players down tool. Like, I'm not gonna lie. And I have to mention him. But guys, we need to have an honest conversation about Ahmad at right wing back. We need to talk about Ahmad at right wing. Ahmad and Mbeumo can't coexist in the same team. I'm gonna say it. Ahmad and Mbeumo, I've seen enough over pre-season and 2.5 games. They can't coexist together. And I said this coming into the season in the early transfer window. I said United need a right wing back because Ahmad, as much as he played as a right wing back last season, he's not a right wing back. The same way Bruno for me is not a deep lying playmaker. The same way for me, there's certain players that we've shoehorned into the system into certain positions when they are clearly not going to excel there. Ahmad is a 10. Ahmad was one of Man United's better creators and goal scorers last year. Yes, he did well at right wing back. But when you have another actual 10 playing in the 10 and he's playing right wing back, they are going to take up the same positions. They are going to take up the same positions. They are going to cause static moments for Manchester United on the right-hand side. And I saw it again yesterday. And I remember saying last week and the week before, and I remember even saying it in pre-season, that the two of them, I'm really struggling to see how they coexist on the right-hand side. It sounds pretty on paper. But it's not working. And there's no harm in saying that. And there's no harm in also suggesting that one of them play in the 10 and the other one play backup. There's no harm in either of that. Let me see what you lot are saying. In a front three, he can be a backup to Mbeumo on the right wing. Big up to Imran, says, we love to Grimsby. I respect Grimsby. You know what made me laugh, by the way, about this whole Grimsby thing? Yeah, there's not really much to laugh about. I can't believe how many people in the UK don't know where Grimsby is. All I kept seeing yesterday and today when I was like watching a lot of videos and podcasts is people kept saying, where is Grimsby? I'm thinking, guys, come on. Are you telling me you lot actually don't know where Grimsby is? Even though it's a very small town. The biggest city to me that I know is Sheffield, but I know Sheffield is a little bit away from it. But I know that they got a population of like 100k maybe. It is a small town, but I was just shocked. But maybe it's because I got a friend that's from Grimsby. So that's why I know where Grimsby is. But I was just shocked that a lot of people were saying, where's Grimsby? Where's Grimsby? Big up to Ginger 23 with the super chat. Thank you so much. Says, we're a mid-table team. Fans need to accept reality. You know what I think it is with the fans, and I've been guilty of it sometimes as well, is that before we run, we're trying to run before we can walk. I don't even think that the fundamentals of a successful system we haven't seen it under Ruben Amorim yet. I saw people talking about top 3, top 4 coming into the season, right? And I just kept saying, guys, I just want to see us win consecutive games across the season. That's it. To a point where as long as we finish above where we finished last year, cool. Because it's very difficult to believe that United would jump from bottom near enough to the bottom of the table to the top of the table. But I think we have to be realistic. We have not in the last 7, 8, 9 months, more than that actually, we haven't actually seen consistent football in the style that Amorim wants. We've seen little moments. There's little games I can see, I can talk about. There's games that I can talk about. But if I was to say to you today, guys, Amorim has played, 40-something games in all comps. Name me 5 best performances. I don't think we could do that. We could do that. And the tough thing for me, it's not even the fact that we're a mid-table team. I think a lot of people are obsessed, rightfully so, but I think a lot of people are obsessed with Sir Alex Ferguson's story and how he succeeded at Manchester United. Sir Alex Ferguson is not the norm. He was not the norm. He was 1 in a billion, literally. So this idea, Sir Alex Ferguson started off like this, we should be patient. He had this kind of run, we should be patient. Sir Alex Ferguson had European pedigree coming into Manchester United. Yes, Ruben Amorim has done well at Sporting, but having a European championship and doing well at Sporting is 2 different stuff, especially with the budget that he had. This obsession that people have with recreating what Sir Alex Ferguson did at Manchester United, we need to accept that that was not the norm. We were just lucky with Sir Alex Ferguson. That's it. So I see this conversation all the time about chopping and changing managers. What's that manager that was at Real Madrid for like 10 games, guys? And he's in the Prem now. Shit, I forgot his name. Guys, no, not thing. Lopetegui. Here you go. Lopetegui. I always say his name wrong. The guy was a manager for like 2 months. He was a manager for like 2 months. How long was he the manager at Real Madrid? He literally took over. His first game was 15 August. He was sacked 29th of October. Same like Barcelona. They were lucky to get Messi, and United were lucky to get Sir Alex Ferguson. Exactly. There's so much things that happened in football, guys, over the last number. You can't replicate it. because some of those people are one of one. So Alex Ferguson is one of them. Even I think Pep will be to an extent one of one when he retires from football. Barcelona, when Pep left, did they try to recreate what he did? No, they didn't. Bayern Munich, did they try to recreate what he did? No, they were successful when he left for many reasons, but not because they were trying to find Pep in every manager that they brought in. Big up to Matthew with the super chat. Big up, Matthew. I hope you're doing well. Says Amorim's cryptic message after the match means he won't change his formation. He won't change his team or him leaving once the bomb squad's gone. Amorim will adapt to a new formation. I don't even know. I'm tired of trying to predict what it is. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm tired of trying to predict he's going to do this and he's going to do that. Like, that I'm struggling with it. A part of me hopes that he abandons this back five nonsense. Like, that's what I hope. Eric Ten Hag did it. I think he should do it too. I don't care. I really don't care. I think he should just abandon. But he's not going to do it, by the way, because I think one thing he's been very firm about, Ruben Amorim, is he will live by the sword and he will die by the sword. How many likes are we on? We're on 66 likes. Over 130 people here, guys. Let's try get the likes to 100, inshallah. Yesterday, guys, I didn't even want to do a reaction video, man. You know what? I didn't want to do it, but I had to do it. Minna, you hopefully will give us a fans lineup on Saturday against Burnley. I don't give a crap about a fans lineup. Just put the best starting 11 out and get rid of this back five. I don't want to see 5 defenders on the pitch. I don't want to see 5 defenders on the pitch. Let me see what you lot are saying in the chat. Throws TVs around in the locker room and threatens Garnacho, but in interviews comes off as a priest. I don't think he comes off as a priest in the interviews. Yesterday, I thought he was gonna cry. I'm not joking, guys. Let me see if I can find that picture. Amorim versus Grimsby interview. The guy looked like he was about to cry. Like, I ain't never seen eyes like that. I ain't never seen eyes like that. The guy, and listen, he looked stressed. He looked stressed. I'm trying to find the exact. Look at this. You're telling me this is a man that's not defeated? Look at the eyes, Chico. They don't lie. The eyes never lie. Men lie, women lie. The eyes don't. The guy is defeated. This is the eyes of a defeated man. This is the eyes of a man who ain't gonna sleep for like 72 hours. This is the eyes of a man. Look, if looks could kill, we'd be dead. We'd all be dead. Cause this is a man that look, yeah, that's a guy that's just, I don't know. I'm running out of adjectives. That interview was bizarre. I couldn't figure out what the F he was saying. It's not even that I rewinded the Sky interview to watch it again because I was like, what do you mean? He's always like emotional when things don't go his way. I think that's going to be one of his like downfalls. Yeah, like we could talk about the system and all of that stuff, but one of his downfalls is going to be how emotional he is. And he actually said it in an interview that he's a very emotional guy. I don't think you could be emotional. Cantona riddles. Big up to Ginger with this super chat. Says open heart surgery was needed, and all that's happened is we've thrown a few bandages on the bleed, prescribed some paracetamol. Amorim, save yourself. You're being too nice, man. You're being too nice. Our kneecap is in our heart right now. Where our heart meant to be is where our kneecap is. Our kneecap is linked to all our veins and everything, and that's what's keeping our. Imagine, just think about it visually, guys. Your kneecap in your chest as your heart. That's how messed up we are. That's how messed up we are. The thing that's beating in our chest right now, as a football club, it's not a heart. It's not a heart. It ain't got blood in it. It's a bloody kneecap. What are kneecaps made of? Is that bone? You guys get the point. You guys get the point. Is it wrong passes that Dallo is leading in the dressing room? Why is he a leader there? Things like that are very wrong to do. You know who I respect, guys? You lot can have your opinions on him. We're going to come back to the Ruben Amorim discussion. But you lot can have your opinions on him. I have respect for Bruno Fernandes. And you know why I got respect for him? Firstly, he looked good when United came. And the thing is, I can't even keep saying someone looked good when they came on, because we lost. So you clearly didn't look that good, right? But the reason why I respect Bruno Fernandes is because as soon as Mbeumo missed the penalty, and you lot might think I'm being sentimental or anything, but these are the things for me that stand out to me that just shows that you're actually a leader. You're actually a leader. Because when Mbeumo missed the penalty, all these guys headed straight for Onana, straight to the tunnel. The guy, Onana was the furthest one away and he was gone. Yeah? Bruno, let me see if I can find it. Bruno straight away to the he went straight down, straight away to go to Mbeumo and escort him, because obviously the pitches, the fans invaded the pitch. Let me see. It was Stephen Ralston, I think, posted it. Is that his name? Something Ralston. Yeah, Stephen Ralston. He posted the clip. Let's find it. Let's find it. Let's find it. Let's find it. Here it is. Is this the clip? Let me see if this is the clip. Didn't someone slap Mbeumo's head? I saw a clip. I don't know if someone slapped his head, but I saw the clip of people running to, obviously, when they invaded the pitch. And I hear it, by the way. People are saying, why they invading the pitch? Guys, they're a League 2 team that just beat Man United. Here you go. Here's the clip that I'm talking about. This is why I respect Bruno Fernandes. Again, you lot might accuse me of being sentimental, but look at this. Look what Bruno does. Yeah? They were ready to run on the pitch, by the way. They were ready to run on the pitch. But look at this. Mbeumo by himself. Onana nowhere in sight. Even though Onana is the closest person to Mbeumo right now. Nowhere in sight. I don't even know where Onana is at this point, wallahi. I don't even know where he is. But Mbeumo, you see people charging at him. Security coming. And look at the Man United players. Just watch the Manchester United players. Bruno straight over to him. All these guys straight down the tunnel. Bruno straight away went to Mbeumo and to make sure he was all right and get him to safety. I don't think the fans would have done anything. I don't think they were going to attack him. But straight away, grab him, make sure he's all right, put his arm around him. And you lot might think, oh, Minna, that's nothing. But I actually think that's relevant. Because firstly, you score your first Man United goal in this game. You then go on to miss the decisive penalty. And you have to make that walk back whilst you've got hundreds of people running onto the pitch. I respect Bruno. I can't lie. For that, I respect him. And I always say I think Bruno is a good leader. I think he's a good leader, which is why I can see him still being at Man United right now. But there will be a time where United have to move on from it. Big up to MYS. How you doing, bro? I hope you're doing well. It says 300 to go for 17k subs. Let's like and sub people. Big up for the super chat. I appreciate it. And you lot heard him. We are 300 away from 17k, hopefully get to 20k before the end of the year, and then it's the road to 50k, then it's the road to 100k. Eventually, hopefully we will get there. But big up to everyone that sent in a super chat thus far. Big up to Aki, been a member for 21 months. Damn. Says I was one of the first to say Eric Ten Hag, estimated December 2023. I've been saying Amorim out back in February. We need to follow my southern lead. Bruno out to 4-2-3-1. You know who's the one person that I know that has been saying Amorim out? Musa. But also, I can't take Musa that serious because Musa supports Onana. So I can't really take what Musa says that serious. But Musa says January, I remember, maybe even February, I remember him saying Amorim out. And I remember us having this argument on the Straight Jacket podcast. And I was saying to him, give him some time, blah, blah, blah. He's like, nah, there's nothing. I don't need to see time. I think he was saying it even December times. I think he might have been saying it back then. Musa says 4 things and celebrates the 4 things he gets right. I would too. I absolutely would too if that was the case. I want to talk about... Where is these pictures that I had up here? Here you go. Yeah, I see Saeed's rebrand. You know, I got a problem with Saeed, yeah? And you lot relay this to him next time he's live. And I will say it to him too. The reason why I can never find Nike sports hijabs, yeah? Because me, when I go play football, when I work out, when I go paddle, all of that, I don't wear this kind of scarf. I wear sports hijab. The reason why I can't find them in stores and they're always sold out is because Saeed is buying them and wearing them as a flipping balaclava. Can you lot tell Saeed to stop wearing the sports hijabs like a balaclava, please? So people like me can buy it when I play football and when I play paddle. Do you know how hard it is playing football or playing a sport, doing any kind of sports or going for a run or anything with a thick scarf? That's why Nike created the sports hijabs, and then everyone started using it as a balaclava. It's not meant to be a balaclava. It's not meant to be a balaclava. It's meant to be a sports hijab. So please stop, give it a rest, because he's got more. The guy's got more. I got 2 sports hijabs. I've seen Saeed now in 3 different balaclavas, and those are sports hijabs that they're just putting it on and they're just putting it here. I'm onto him. I'm actually onto him. All jokes aside, guys. All jokes aside. How many likes are we on, by the way? Let's 14 to go, and then we hit 100 likes. So make sure you hit the like button if you've just come through and you heard everybody else in the comments. Make sure you subscribe as well. Road to 17k. We're not too far off. It is, by the way, the Champions League draw. Should I go live for the Champions League draw? Is there even any point? Or we're not even in the Champions League. We are not even in the Champions League. What's the point of me going live for the Champions League draw? I do want to see, though. Guys, should we do a live for the Champions League draw? Nah. Let's talk about this domestic record. Let's talk about this domestic record. Because do you know what this domestic record tells me? 34 games is near enough, give or take, a full Premier League season. 38 games would be a Premier League season. Obviously, some of this we have to keep in mind. Domestic means it includes FA Cups, it includes Carabao Cups, anything domestically, right? In England. 8 wins. Guys, if we actually don't laugh, we will cry. 8 wins. I don't think we're deep in it. I don't think we are actually deep in it. 8 wins. 8. In my language, that's ko, laba, sadah, afar, shan, lih, tadoba, seded. 8 wins. 8. How would I say that in Arabic? واحد, اثنين, ثلاثة. Am I saying that wrong? أربعة, خمسة, ستة, سبعة, ثمانية. I think I might have said it wrong. But the point still counts. 8 wins. What other languages? Un, deux, trois, quatre, cinq, cinq. Nah, I'm gonna kill that language. But you guys get my point. 8 wins. 8 wins. 8. It's not even double digits. It's not even double digits. Do you know how crazy that is? That you've actually lost double the same. You've lost double the games you've won. Thamania, there you go. Thank you for correcting me. 8 wins is better than 7. Yeah, that's true. It's like saying, why was 7 scared of 9? Because of 7, 8, 9. Oh my god. 8 wins. I think when I saw this graphic today, I mean, my blood pressure has been high for the last nearly 24 hours. But when I saw this today, I think Sky Sports, they want us to feel it. I think they want us to just feel it. Because 8 wins in 34 is mental, guys. Well, I don't think we're deep in how bad it is. Because I'm sitting here laughing right now, yeah? And you lot are laughing with me in the chat because I'm making funny jokes. But 8 wins is ridiculous. I think the best run of games that I can remember under Ruben Amorim is his first 3 games. When we drew to Ipswich, then I think we beat Bodo Glimt, and then we beat Everton. Minna, was last night's defeat worse than the 7-up at Anfield? I think that's the worst. I don't think there's anything that's comparable to the 7-0, sorry. Because that's against Liverpool at Anfield. That's humiliation against your biggest rivals in England. Nah. But I can't believe this, guys. I can't believe it. And that is why I genuinely have this feeling that I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, that maybe Amorim did take the role too early. But then and this is a question to you guys. Who do you think is at fault here? Do you think Amorim's at fault for taking the job? Or do you think United are at fault for giving him an ultimatum? I think all of this is starting to make sense as to why Dan Ashworth left. There was too many cooks in the kitchen. That was the report. That he didn't agree with bringing in a new manager that plays a completely different style, which means you'd have to, revamp the entire team. Look at this. I don't know if you guys remember, but Liverpool were in for Ruben Amorim, right? Not just Liverpool. West Ham was in for him at one point. Liverpool turned the opportunity down to hire him, instead opting for Arne Slot, which this article was from last season, yeah? Their decision not to pursue Amorim came down to the disagreement over his tactical approach, with the coach prepared to stick with his favoured 3-4-3 setup. Do you think, by the way, it's not just Liverpool, I think West Ham as well had an issue with him. Do you think he put Mohamed Salah at right wing back in his presentation to Liverpool? And that's probably what they were probably like, yeah, nah. It's a bit shit, isn't it? Says Darren. When Eric was sacked, though, we had 3 wins in 12 PL and Europe. That's true. How many wins? So you're telling me since Ten Hag got sacked? Well, this is not including, obviously, Europa, so I think it would be harsh to say, but you're telling me we've only gone on to win 8 games domestically. And I think, 2 or 3 of those games we won, those teams have been relegated, right? Leicester have been relegated. Ipswich have been relegated. So, of those 8 games, how many of those teams were actually good teams? And even them games where we lost to Leicester and we beat Leicester, and we beat Ipswich. We just got away with those games with the skin of our teeth. If you guys remember, I remember we played Leicester back in, I think it was February. But we got away with that result with the skin of our teeth. Southampton as well. How can I forget? When we were 2-0 down and Ahmad scored a hat-trick in like 12 minutes. Southampton, another team. That's so 3 of the teams that we actually beat in this 8 wins. 3 of them are relegated. They're not in the Prem no more. Who are the other people that we beat? I'm actually curious, guys. Ruben Amorim results. I'm actually curious to see his results at Manchester United, because I can't remember off the top of my head all these teams that we beat. Obviously, I think if it's domestic in those 8 wins, Arsenal will be in that 8 wins. All right, here it is. Okay, so let's look at him at Manchester United. I'm getting ready to just see their red. Okay, cool. But I don't want to see Europa. How do I? Okay, so I think I can look at just. Let's look at Premier League. Let's look at just Premier League for now. Question asked to many fan channels: would you respect him if he resigns? Yeah, I would. I would respect him, because it will show that, number one, I think I would respect him more if he changed his style of football and switched from this 3-4-3 or whatever you want. 5 for me, it's not even, I don't even think it's a 3-4-3, because to me it looks more like a back 5. But I would respect him more if he switched to a 4-2-3-1 or something like that, something sustainable. But him walking away from the job, I think, says that he maybe realizes he can't fix it. And he's also alluded to many times that maybe he's not the guy to fix it. He's alluded to it. It was reported that he wanted to quit back in January after a tough run of games. Then again, he wanted to quit at the end of the season. So you're telling me 2 times you've wanted to quit. You wanted to walk off. And they had to, what was the word? Sweet talk him to stay in May after the Europa League final. He's been ready to go. And I think it's because he knows he's not going to be the guy to take United to the promised land. And I even said this at the time of appointment. I can pull it up in the streams. I remember saying when he got announced, I said, it shows to me that Man United don't think he's the guy to take them to the promised land, because they gave him a 2.5-year contract. That to me does not sound like you're backing a manager or you're invested in a manager. But that for me is, hey, You know, like the Titanic. You want him. United is the Titanic, yeah. And rather him steering the Titanic to safety, they want him to come onto the ship and just patch up the holes where the water's coming through. And so an actual captain can come and take the Titanic to safety or to the promised land, wherever the hell the Titanic was on its way to. He's not the guy. I don't think United think that he's that guy. That's why I said when he got a 2.5-year contract, you're basically a temp manager. You're a temp manager because it's not too short of a contract and it's not too long of a contract to make you think that he's being invested in. Too embarrassed and proud to switch. He'll walk or wait to get sacked before switching. You know what's funny is that he could have stayed at, like, this is another thing I don't get about this whole situation, right? Is that he sold this package type. Like, firstly, Ruben Amorim himself didn't want to join Man United mid-season, right? But he was given an ultimatum. It's either now or never. And by the end of the season, he packaged it to us like, oh, guys, look, me joining in November and going through this tough 6 months will make it easier for us next season. It hasn't made it any easier. It hasn't made it any easier. What has Chris Wheeler posted? Let me just show you lot this, guys. This is United's Premier League results. Look how many reds there are. Bloody hell. Bloody hell. Okay, as per Chris Wheeler, let me put Amorim back on the screen because we're talking about him. This picture is actually kind of jokes. Chris Wheeler from the Daily Mail saying that Amorim is set to have talks with Manchester United board in international break. There's no plans to early change in the season. Some players, those on loan and those with uncertain futures, are wondering if they can outlast Amorim. They're wondering if they can... I can't say that with a straight face. They are wondering if they can outlast Amorim at the club. His quotes after the Grimsby match was dragged with emotion. So that's coming from Chris Wheeler at the Daily Mail. I mean, I don't know if you lot saw that picture of Jadon Sancho yesterday, but I know for a fact he's probably thinking maybe I can outlast these lot at Manchester United and maybe I could find a way to get my entire contract and still leave on a free next summer. Lisandro Martinez should be careful because I saw a report the other day that said that Malacia was his only punishment was because he's friends with Marcus Rashford. And I've been making that joke for a long time, right? But now you lot see the truth to it. There is truth to that Malacia is in the bomb squad because he's friends with Marcus Rashford, right? Now, with saying that, he might outlast Amorim. He might outlast Ruben Amorim. Amorim leaving before Shaw is diabolical. Macy says disgrace. Ridwan says nice finished under the next manager too. Our rivalry ain't even fun or fair anymore. You know what's so funny? I'm saying, you know what's funny? Nothing's funny, but everyone trying to make sense of Man United's situation is what makes me laugh. I was watching Sky Sports earlier this morning, and they had this thing where like they got a bunch of fan analysis, something like that, and they have different people. So I was watching it because Owen said he was going to be on it, and shout out to Owen for being on Sky. But I watched Flex's part first, and everyone is trying to make sense of this situation that Manchester United find themselves in. And I'm just like, guys, we can't, this is not something we can make sense of. We can't make, like, genuinely yesterday when I was watching the game, I was watching the game with my family and I looked at my relatives and some of them are United fans, some of them are not. And I was like, guys, I'm not even being funny, but is there hyenas at Old Trafford? Like, what, why are we like this? Why is Manchester United like this? Because one conversation people are having is about the owners. Then we're having a conversation about the dressing room. Then we're having conversations about the new owners. Then we're talking about the manager. Then we're talking about the players. Then we're talking about Old Trafford we need a new Old Trafford. What the hell does a new Old Trafford have to do with how bad we are? Big up to Wahib. I hope you're doing well. It's not worked out equation. Just sack him. Honestly, we're doing mental maths, guys. We're doing Pythagoras' theorem on this. And there's no answer. Because every answer is correct. Every answer is correct. I couldn't sleep after that game against Grimsby. I ended up sleeping a few hours, woke up late, absolutely knackered. You know, me, I just took painkillers literally and figuratively to sleep away the pain. And I went straight to sleep eventually at like 2 a.m. just trying to make sense of the whole thing. I respect anybody that got I respect anybody that rewatched the game. I respect anyone that rewatched the game, because I wouldn't. The Champions League draw is starting now. I do want to watch it. Should we do, I don't even know if it's worth doing a UCL stream, guys, because it usually takes a bit of time in it for them to actually do the draw, because they're giving an award as well to Chelsea apparently for being the first team to win every European trophy. But I'll probably do a video. I'm not gonna lie, I'll probably do a video reacting to the draw with my predictions. But I just saw Bayer Leverkusen tweet saying, "Just hope we don't get Grimsby." Well, like, Eric Ten Hag, I hope you get sacked. That's actually a funny tweet, though. That's actually a funny tweet. As always, we have like 10 different issues. We've got so many different issues. At this point, the question is, what issue don't Man United have? I think that should be the conversation that we have. What issue do Man United not have? Like in politics, some fan channels rather sell easy fixes and one-liners than admit the situation is extremely delicate and layered. I'm gonna do the UCL draw. Bro, I don't even want to, but I will drop a video inshallah later this evening reacting to the UCL draw. There's a lot of people doing it right now. Let's see who is live that we can redirect to. There's actually no United creator that's live. This is the thing. It would be so shameless of me to do a live stream for the Champions League draw, despite the fact that I do content on everybody. But it'll be so shameless for me to do it when everyone else who's live right now are actually in the Champions League. Let's go to Deluded Guna. That's my guy. Go show Deluded Guna some love, guys. Go show Deluded Guna some love. He's a top guy. But yeah, listen, guys. What kind of content we've got coming throughout the week, inshallah. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow we'll have another daily dose of Mina. Your channel is Mina Football, not just Mina United. So tomorrow we will have daily dose of Mina. Saturday, obviously, we'll have reaction to the Burnley game. Sunday, we will do a watch-along for Liverpool versus Arsenal, inshallah. We'll do a watch-along for that. And then, yeah, we have content coming every day of the week. Monday, we'll do a deadline day stream in the evening leading up to 11 p.m. Just in case United do any moves on deadline day. The announcement, you're right. I don't worry. The announcement is coming. It's on its way. I've just signed my contract yesterday. I think I'm allowed to make the announcement in the coming days. So I'm going to announce it first on my channel before I announce it on any of my socials. Don't worry. I have zero faith against Burnley. Hannibal Mejbri is coming back for his lick. That's all I have to say. But listen, guys, big up to all of you lot. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe as well. If you are new here, we will have watch-alongs coming back next weekend for Manchester United women, as the WSL campaign will kick off next Sunday for them against Leicester. So we'll be doing content. The watch-alongs are back for the women's game, can I just say. And yeah, going to start doing more watch-alongs as well throughout different leagues, Spanish league, French league, German league, etc., etc. But big up to all of you lot. Big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button on your way out, guys. And remember, guys, there's more to life than Man United. Okay? There's more to life than Man United. We've got a roof over our heads, family, friends, food on our plates. Say alhamdulillah. Say all praises to God. It could be much worse. Hit the like button on your way out. Guys, have a good one. Peace.